Hi and welcome to session 7 from the Internet Video 101 training. This week we're going to be looking at audio and particularly looking at doing voiceovers. And we're going to start looking a little bit more into the overall video creation process as part of this. We're then going to start talking specifically about doing the voice recording. We'll look at different types of microphones. We'll also look at some of the software that's available out there. And then we're going to go through and we're going to actually look at real live audio production. And I'll take you through the actual script that I did last week. I've already recorded it for you. It's going to be available, mistakes and everything, for you to listen to later. So nobody laugh when you listen to the whole thing. Please, nobody use it as blackmail against me, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So the video creation process, so far we've talked about writing a script. We've then talked about taking that script and creating a PowerPoint from that. The next step is to read that script and create a voiceover. Once we've got that voiceover, we've edited it all down, we've got a perfect audio file, we'll then go and we'll use it to capture the slides, and we're going to come on to that next week. And then finally we'll take all of that, bring it together, we'll produce our final video, which we'll then be able to distribute out and use to start generating traffic to our websites. So, like I say, we've already done the script writing, we've already got our PowerPoint created, hopefully everyone's got theirs done from the homework last week. Today we're going to look at recording the voiceover, next week we'll look at capturing the slides, and then we'll put it all together the week after that. So there's two key things that we need when we actually look at recording our voice. The first thing is a microphone. Obviously if we don't have a microphone, we don't have a way of getting the voice into the computer. The second thing is we're going to need some software to actually record it when it gets there. So there's various different types of microphones, all different amounts of money. Some of them are fairly cost-effective. Some of them can be a bit pricier. I would say you don't need to spend an absolute fortune, but it is worth investing in a good microphone. If we go down at the basic level, we've got something like these Logitech headsets. Now, what's very important is all of the microphones I'm talking about today will be USB. What that means is there's two ways of getting sound into a computer. One is the little microphone jack at the back, which then goes through the sound card that's built into the computer. The other method is through a USB plug that just goes into a normal USB port on your computer. And there is such a big difference between all the different types of sound cards that I would always recommend people to stay away from the microphones that plug into a sound card. You're only going to give yourself problems. If you go for a USB one, the chances are 99 times out of 100 you'll plug it in, you'll get decent quality sound from it. So these Logitech ones, I actually use those. I carry them around with me if I'm traveling because they fit in my suitcase very nicely. They're great if I want to use Skype whilst I'm away, but they've also got a nice microphone in there. And I have used those for some of the marketing videos that I've produced whilst I've been out on the road. The next step up is something called the Blue Snowball. And Blue are a company that made studio microphones for a long time. And they decided to venture into PC microphone technology. And one of the first ones they came out with was this Blue Snowball. And it's great. We're looking about $50, $60 for this one, whereas the headset you're probably looking more like $30. But it's a very, very good quality. It's a noticeable step up in quality from the USB headset. And there's a lot of big-name podcasters swear by this microphone, and they use nothing else. Stepping up from this one is we have the Blue Snowball's big brother, which is the Blue Yeti. This is the microphone that I use. One of the reasons that I use it is there's a switch on the back of it, allows me to set it up for recording interviews. So if I sit opposite somebody, we can record an interview and it'll keep our voice tracks separate. And that could be very useful. It also has a much higher, what they call frequency response. So it will pick up much higher frequencies and much lower frequencies than most other microphones. And as you can see on the front of it, you can see just here, I believe it's the only PC microphone that is THX certified because of the sound quality that's produced. Finally, if you want to go to the real high end, Audio-Technica are very, very well known in the studio area, and they have a USB microphone. It's the Audio-Technica AT2020. Probably the most expensive of all of these, but quite honestly, I know a lot of people who have moved from the Audio-Technica to the Blue Yeti simply because they find it gives much more versatility and it's a much better sound comes out of it. So the most important thing though is most computers do come with a microphone of some description, probably looks something like that. Please, for marketing videos, don't do it. Don't use it. You will regret it. You'll find that the audio quality is just not up to the job. And the thing is, people will forgive you if your graphics aren't great or if your animations aren't as smooth as you would like them to be. But they will not listen to your marketing video if the audio is poor quality. So I would suggest when you're ready to start doing proper marketing videos that you go out and you invest in a good quality microphone. And like I say, if you can afford it, I would strongly recommend the Blue Yeti. I will put links for all of these underneath the video on the website. The next thing you're going to need is some sort of audio recording software, and there's two types. There's pure audio software, but there's also music software, and a lot of people might find that they already have something like this that they can use. So a couple of recommendations if you want to do a little bit more than just record audio. On the PC you might look at something like Sony Acid Music Studio, which is about $40 or $50. Or its big brother, Sony Acid Pro, which is sort of $250, that sort of mark, a much higher end music production system. It allows you to do a lot more and to chop and change and to mix things together. I'm mentioning these simply because you may have them, you may have come across them. I don't recommend that you use them for doing voiceovers, even if you do use them for other things. On the Mac, you might already have GarageBand installed. It comes with most new Macs these days. You might also have Logic Express, which is, again, it's a full music production system. It allows you to record voice, it allows you to record music and create quite complex audio productions. And again, it has a big brother, which is Logic Studio. And the price is going up and up and up towards the high end. I think Logic Studio is about $300 or $400. You may have something like this if you're using a Mac. Again, I believe it's overkill. If you want to go for pure audio software, the real sort of high end on a PC is Adobe Audition. Current version is CS 5.5. It's fantastic. Obviously, it's the most comprehensive that's out there right now. It's anything that Adobe produces tends to be very, very good quality and to work really, really well. In my opinion, not only is it overkill, it's overcomplicated, and really, it's not what we need. What I recommend to everybody, Mac or PC, is Audacity. The great thing about Audacity is it's free. I have yet to find another piece of software, and I've used most of those that I've put up on those previous slides, yet to find another piece of software that does the job as well and as easily as Audacity. And I keep coming back to it. I keep thinking, oh no, I've got this fancy software now, I must use this. And I use it, I get familiar with it, so that I can't use the excuse that, oh well, I didn't give it enough time. And I still come back to Audacity because it does the job better than the rest. So it's Audacity that we're going to stick with. I'm going to put a link to everything. However, I would suggest that you don't buy any of the other software. I just wanted you to be familiar with it. So the recording process is fairly straightforward. We plug our microphone in, we fire up our software, and we record our voice. We literally pick up a printer out of our script and we read it. And we don't worry about messing up our lines, as you'll hear when you hear my raw recording. We don't worry about if we have to turn a page and get in the noise of turning the page. All of these things can be cut out. So we just sit down and we record it. And if it's a 2-minute video and it takes us 10 minutes to record the voice track, that doesn't matter. The most important thing is that we take the time, we record it, and we, even if it's jumbled up, that we get every sentence at least once in a way that we're happy with. We then go through and we perform a step called noise removal. This will become a lot clearer when we actually do it, but just to give you an overview behind this is there's always noise in your environment unless you're in a proper recording studio. Now, I don't have a recording studio at home. I'm sitting next to my PC, and my PC has got, I think, about 6 or 7 different fans inside it, and they're not quiet fans. So when you record music or when you record voice or anything like that and you play it back, you can hear those fans. So I need to go through and get rid of that, and Audacity is great at helping you to do that. Once we've done this, we go through a process called normalizing. And what normalizing does is, if everything's a little bit quiet, it boosts it all up so that we've got a fairly standard level across the whole audio track. We then go through and we edit it. One of the things that you'll find when you're reading your script is that you might say and stumble over words a little bit. You might find that when you're reading it and you're getting really excited, that you hear your breath. So you might say, "This is a fantastic piece of software." And you get that intake of breath, and it sounds a little bit distracting in the middle of a marketing video. So you're going to want to go through and take all of these things out. And also, you might want to just give yourself a little pause to collect yourself before you go into a new paragraph. And you want to compress these pauses. So once you've done all of this, you'll have a nice clean file. Now comes a little secret insider trick. And this trick is to add a little bit of energy. Think you'll agree if I speak fairly slowly like this, it's easy for you to understand what I'm saying, but it's also very easy for you to fall asleep whilst I'm saying it. But if I can speak a little bit quicker, it might be a little bit harder for me to speak like this because I'm more likely to trip over my words, but I can really get some energy into what I'm saying. So we cheat. We increase the tempo of our recorded audio. And again, this is something that Audacity does really, really well. And I'm not talking about speeding it up and making you sound like a chipmunk. Audacity can speed it up without adjusting the pitch of your voice. And as long as you don't overdo it, it works really, really well.